Hey guys, I'm Noise Resonance, and today I'm gonna be showing you how to make a dubstep growl, which is gonna be sounding like this in the final mix. So if you wanna know how to make that sound, so go along with me. If you don't, then you can pretty much exit the video. So let's get started. So we're gonna be using 4 VSTs, including an additional VST, which is an optional Ableton stock reverb, but it's optional. So let's get started. First is massive. So I actually came across this patch like 5 minutes ago when I finished my song Xtasy. So I think I might make a dubstep track next. So we'll see. I'll take you through what I did. So in the voicing tab, unisono to 4, monophonic, legato triller, pitch cutoff off, wavetail position off, pan position just past the mono, in between the full and the mono, just 50% all the way. So next, the oscillators. So in oscillator 1, I used digigrain 2, the spectrum to bend plus, wavetail position all the way down, intensity all the way up, amp around 2 o'clock, 2:30 position. Routed to filter 1. Now even though I didn't use filter 1, we're actually going to be using this after. Think of it as an optional modulation sort of thing, which we're gonna tackle later. So let's not worry about that now. I'll show you. So digigrain 2, lower it down 2 octaves. So oscillator 2, screamer, bend minus plus, wavetail position all the way up, intensity all the way up, amp all the way up. So one thing I'd like to stress, make sure you route all these to filter 1 later. I'll show you what it does. Oscillator 3, um, deep throat. Deep throat is really good for those dubstep growls, really dirty sound, especially if it's on bend plus, which we're gonna be using. Bend plus, lower down 2 octaves, wavetail position up, intensity up, amp all the way up. So white noise, we didn't use it. Feedback, no. Parabolic shaper in the insert 1. Dry wet 1 o'clock position. The drive just past the 12 o'clock position. The sine shaper around a little bit past the 12 o'clock position in the dry wet. And the drive around 11:30. Just the one point to the D. That's what she said. Okay. For the effects, we're gonna be using the classic tube distortion, the dry wet around the 10 o'clock position, drive all the way up, and then dimension expander, just a little bit of size, and the dry wet is like around 8:30 position, just a little bit, give it a little bit of width. The EQ, high shelf, push it up a bit. Low shelf, push it up like a fraction a bit. It actually helps the low end. Okay, so now let's go to the envelopes. Right. So envelope 1, we want it to look like this. Attack, push it up like this. A little bit of attack, level all the way up. Decay, make sure it's pointing to the Y. Level all the way down, level up, release this. So we want to route the envelope 1 to the wavetail position and push it up. It modulates the wavetail position of digigrain 2 as well as the screamer. Push it up to this, like just so the blue end of it is pointed to T. And then the deep throat, we're gonna be modulating the wavetail position as well. Make sure it's like this. Make it look like this. You should be seeing this. I mean, it should be high quality video after all. Second envelope, we're actually going to be routing it only to the screamer. Intensity, I found it to be to make it have like a better sound than if it didn't, since if it didn't have, then I'll show you here, and then if I did, it has that grit to it, so it actually helps. So make it the second envelope look like this. Attack just a bit, level up, decay, make sure the thing is pointing to the just between the A and the Y. The level, make sure it's pointing at the just before the letter L. Level up, release like this. There. And the third envelope, which is the final envelope, is the pitch modulation, where you hear the sound. If we turn it off, we can see the effect of it. Oops, sorry. I'll just fix that later. So see, it's like some sort of growling pad sort of sound. So we don't want that. We want some modulation, some dirty growl going on. So attack just between the two T's, the point there, level up, decay, make sure it's pointing to the letter A and Y just between it, level down, level up and release like this. Didn't really change. So that's about it, and you should have this sound. Oops, sorry. You should have a sound like this. Let's switch up the plugins a bit. So you should have that sound. Again, without the pitch modulation, it would be like some sort of pad or something. So next is going to be the wow filter. Wow filter is really used in most of these things, in the dubstep growls. So we're going to be using vowel mode. We're using A to E. Just a little bit of movement there. The kind of sound, resonance, point all the way here, 70, 80, something. Overdrive, don't use that. Use the band reject filter. We're gonna be using vowel mode as well. Yeah, dry wet around here, and envelope follower there. LFO around 50-55%. Yeah. So next thing we're gonna be slapping on is an homicide VST. So homicide VST. So it's gonna be it really makes it more dirty, since if it's without it, it's gonna just gives it more dirty sound. And then the last thing, we're gonna be using Dada Life Sausage Fattener. Now I really recommend getting this. It's really awesome. The plugin's awesome. It really fills out those gaps, really fatten things up. Well, obviously. Fatness 7%. We don't want that much of distortion. Color all the way down. Actually, all the way down. So you should have that sound already. You should have that sound. Now the reverb is actually pretty optional, but if you don't have the reverb, it sounds pretty kind of dry. And with a dimension expander, so you might want to put a reverb in it. Just normal reverb, quality high. Drop the dry wet and the decay time. Might want to put a low cut. Perfect. So it's actually optional. So if you want that sound only, if you're satisfied with it, and I'm not actually, you can if you're happy with that sound, then you can go on make some dubstep. But for me, I actually want more modulation on it for more dirty things. You get it. So this is what I'm talking about. Low pass. We're routing everything to filter 1. Filter 1. Then turn on filter 1. Low pass 4. Put in an LFO 5. Oh, this is purely optional. It's only if you're not satisfied with the sound, you want more modulation going on. So that we're gonna turn up to 4, I think 4. Or yeah, 1 actually, and then it will sound like this. So that doesn't sound really nice. So we're gonna be using the amp 7, So the LFO7, I just actually used the random thing, and I just routed the performer towards the LFO amp, so it should sound like this. And it should sound, if you switch the ratio to 8, it should sound like. Now that sounds pretty awesome, doesn't it? Like, you could route it more actually if you might want to route it to the drive, the dry wet for the sign shaper. Put a little bit of phasing onto it, but I'm pretty happy with the sound I have right now. Maybe you could tamper with the ratio. Oh, that's pretty dirty. Um, so that's pretty much about it. That's all for the Ableton tutorial. If you like, then subscribe. Check out my music on SoundCloud. I'm gonna be making new stuff soon, so you might want to be tampering with the ratio again. This actually helps, and then most people overlook the random button, since they, oh, I don't want to be something random, I want something. No, it actually gives you ideas. Like, I don't know, you just make it and then see, I already have an idea what to make next, if in case I'm making one. So that's it, guys. See you around, and yeah, see ya.